Never before have I heard of anyone sleeping on 6 pillows.
The Contessa always sleeps sitting up.
Why is that?
She's me well out. You might also ask why she never has anything for breakfast but a glass of champagne and turtle soup.
It must be turtle?
It must be green turtle, and it must be canned in Tasmania. She carries cases of it about with her.
What an unusual woman. The Contessa certainly has a lot of friends.
Oh, Stella's irresistible.
How long is she going to stay here?
Only a few days. She writes that she's foregoing the start of the London season because she must meet Glen's wife.
She must be very wealthy.
Oh, she is. George, her first husband, invented some kind of a whatchamacallit.
He invented the automatic trifurcated hydraulic wedge. Please don't ask me what it is or what it does. So these were just delivered. Where do you want them?
Oh, I'm afraid they'll have to go downstairs.
All right, downstairs it is. How about a farewell kiss before I leave for the airport?
I think that could be arranged.
What cool, soft, velvety lips.
I hate to disillusion you, but you just kissed the gladiolus.
Of everything.
Oh, will the Contessa want tea when she arrives?
Good heavens, no. The only beverage that ever passes her lips is champagne. I forgot. She likes the champagne glasses chilled.
I'll put some glasses in the freezer.
Thank you, dear.
Agatha!
Oh, my darling. Lovely.
My angel, my beloved.
Cousin Stella's here.
Look at you.
You're absolutely fabulous, ma petite saucisson. In 3 years, you haven't changed a day.
Hi, Cousin Stella.
My adorable Stephen. Oh, my dear, how are you? It's such a joy to lay eyes on you again.
I know.
You haven't grown. Don't they feed you enough?
Well, I know.
Don't worry. One of the most attractive men I ever knew was under 5 feet.
This isn't Stephen, it's Danny.
You're Danny! Well, then you have grown. Good for you.
I'm supposed to grow.
Who is this tall, handsome hunk of man? Don't tell me this is Stephen Morley. It can't be.
But it is.
Of course it is. Don't you think I know my own cousin when I see him?
Welcome home, Cousin Stella.
Oh, welcome home. You are an angel. How sweet you are, my angel. Oh, how wonderful it is to see you all again. Glen, you must be so proud of your adorable son.
Yes, I am. I'd be even more proud if they'd take these suitcases up to the guest room.
Sure, Dad. What have you got in here, Cousin Stella?
Oh, 14 cans of green turtle soup. And now, where is the poor creature?
What poor creature?
The sweet, unknowing, innocent girl you tricked into agreeing to marry you.
Oh, that poor creature.
Oh, Katie.
Cousin Stella, may I present my wife, Katie?
Carissimo, sono tanto felice di fare la sua conoscenza.
How do you do, Contessa?
How dare you write me that she is pretty? She is the most ravishing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you, Contessa.
Cousin Stella, per favore. The only reason I kept that dreadful man's title was because it gets me better tables in restaurants. By the way, have I had any telephone calls from Colorado?
No, you haven't.
Really? I'm drilling an oil well there. But, more important, I have been in this house at least 4 minutes. And not a single one of you has offered me a glass of champagne.
Calm yourself, Cousin Stella. It's coming right up.
Your glass is already chilled.
È molto gentile, mia cara.
Thank you, Cousin Stella.
Isn't she a darling? She's absolutely adorable. And fancy her being able to speak Italian.
Well,
Cousin Stella is a remarkable woman.
would you believe that her first husband was a garage mechanic?
The inventor who left her so much money?
She could have married the richest man in the state. Instead, she picked George. I think he's really the only man she ever loved.
Your mother said he died when he was very young. Does she have any children?
No, we're really the only family she's got. She is a remarkable character, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's perfectly outrageous and perfectly delightful.
And, darling, did you read the awful, depressing news in the papers this morning? No. There's a very serious possibility that caviar will disappear from the face of the earth. Something to do with the breeding habits of the sturgeon in the Caspian Sea. At last! I have had faster service on an Iranian freighter in the Indian Ocean during a typhoon.
Patience, cousin, patience.
Why are you hiding the label? What third-rate stuff are you hoping to pass off on your innocent cousin this time?
This happens to be a perfectly marvelous little domestic champagne that I found.
Nonsense, darling. There are some very good domestic champagnes, but none that can be called marvelous. Well, cheers, dear. Welcome back, Stella. Thank you, darling. Domestic? Oh, you devil. This is Noir de Noir. I think it's 59.
Would you like to see the label?
Noir de Noir, 1959. That's amazing.
Would you pass me my bag, darling? I want to get my swizzle stick.
Swizzle stick?
Yes. Isn't it amusing? It's platinum. I use it to cut down the bubbles.
But platinum?
Well, that's just a status symbol, my dear. I treasure it above all else because it was given me as a gesture of endearment by the most... Oh. Well, Glen, tell me something. How many people will this house hold?
Standing, seated, or stacked horizontal?
All three, I suppose. I am giving a party. I want about 100 of my most intimate friends to meet this darling creature. Would Saturday be all right, Agatha? Why, yes, of course. Oh, dear. The caterers. The good ones are always taken so far ahead.
I know a wonderful man who's just going into business for himself. I'm sure he would be free.
But is he really good?
Very good, I promise.
Bene. E andiamo, eh? I'm so pleased you speak Italian. French, too, I hope. But I really do. Spanish one can do without. Greek is hardly an essential. But it can be convenient if one is yachting in those dreadful, stifling little islands. Now, I'll tell you what. You get ahead, call the caterers, and I'll get on with my own facts.
Since when has Katie spoken Italian?
Since Cousin Stella arrived.
Darling, you look like a princess.
Thank you. You look very lovely yourself.
Thank you, my dear. Well, this looks quite promising, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you did a wonderful job.
Now, that remains to be seen.
I wonder what this is.
Oh, that's plover's eggs in terrapin aspic.
How did you know that?
By the color and the clarity of the gelatin. I spent 1.5 years, dear one, in the Cordon Bleu in Paris. The cooking school of the Western world. Oh, it was a lark. Mushroom caps. Stuffed mushroom caps.
I had one. They're delicious.
Are they? There is a thief in this house.
What?
I invented this recipe. A mushroom cap stuffed with a little bit of lobster souffle flavored with a tiny pinch of curry. There is only one other person in this world who knows this recipe. It's not possible. It's not possible! Petri!
You need not say one word. You have just tasted the mushrooms.
Oh, dear Petri.
Carissima Contessa. When you told me that the Contessa was giving the party, I did not say one word. I simply resolved to fix the mushrooms. I knew that would bring her into the kitchen in a hurry.
You see, dear one, Petrie was my chef in London, and then later at my villa at Antibes.
The Contessa taught me everything I know about cooking.
Oh, that's absolute rubbish. You had a magnificent talent.
Cousin Stella, there is a telephone call for you from Colorado.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Why don't you take it up in my study?
Petrie. Next time, a tiny bit less curry in the lobster souffle.
Yes, Contessa. You must forgive me for keeping it a secret, but I wanted it to be a surprise.
Well, it most certainly was.
Magnificent woman. Now that she is in Washington, perhaps she could help me to plan the menus for my restaurant.
I'm sure she'd be delighted. When do you open?
With luck, in 3 weeks.
The Morley family will be your first customers.
No, you will be my first guests.
Where's Stella? Her guests are arriving.
She's upstairs, I believe. I'll go tell her.
Thank you. Oh, you've done a magnificent job.
For a magnificent lady, Signora Morley.
Oh, yes. I quite understand. Thank you. And goodbye. Avanti.
Your guests are beginning to arrive downstairs. Is there something the matter?
Oh, carissima. I'm very much afraid that there is.
What is it?
I've just had some incredible news. It's unbelievable. I am flat broke.
Surely you exaggerate a little. You mean it's really true?
Absolutely and devastatingly true. I've nothing.
Oh, Cousin Stella, I'm so sorry.
Darling, we won't say anything to the others until later.
Would you like to be alone for a few minutes?
Alone? Oh, don't be ridiculous, child. Want to miss a perfectly marvelous party. Come, darling.
Hello.
Good morning, darling.
What are you doing?
I'm picking Napoleon. I thought it only proper that I contribute something toward my keep.
Hello, Mr. Petrie. How nice to see you.
Oh, come in, Petrie. I can't shake hands with you. My hands are in the flour.
Contessa, you know that already I've had 4 requests from your friends asking me to cater their parties.
Isn't that wonderful?
And it has given me an idea. As you know, I'm going to open a small restaurant here in Washington.
I didn't know. Isn't that marvelous?
And you could be a great help to me in the enterprise.
How could I help?
Well, for one thing, I need your advice in planning my menu. For another, you might be willing to bring your friends there.
Oh, I'd be delighted to, Petrie.
Of course, I would insist on giving you a percentage of my receipts. You could give it to some charity.
How many tables will your restaurant hold, Petrie?
12?
It's very nice. I've seen it.
Did you happen to see it this morning, my angel?
Why, yeah, I did.
Then my suspicions are confirmed. And I'm more touched than I've ever been in my life. Oh, you two are plotters.
Contessa!
Now, I'm going to turn down your business proposition because 12 tables in a restaurant will not support 2 people.
Well, what if it was a very large restaurant, tremendously elegant and tremendously expensive?
I would like nothing better than to have such a restaurant, Signora Morley.
Do you think it would be a success, Cousin Stella, with Mr. Petrie in the kitchen and you planning the menu?
Oh, I think it would make a mint. But where is the money coming from to begin with?
Well, I think I have an idea about that.
No, Katie. No, I can't. I've changed my mind. One cannot beg from his old friends.
It would not be begging. It would be a good investment for them. You said so yourself.
I know I did. But one simply can't call up an old friend and say, guess what? I'm bankrupt. And I want you to give me a few $1,000s so that I can open a restaurant.
At least it's a direct approach.
Well, I know it is, but
Oh, Cousin Stella, you must. I promise you it won't be as difficult as you think.
I can't make the first call.
Hello? Yeah, who's calling, please? Just a moment. It's the Marquesa de Sevilla for you.
I'm not here. I'm out of the city. I'm up in the wilds of Athabasca, hunting elk.
I told the boys never to lie. She'll be with you in just a moment.
Oh, give me strength. Hello, Antoinetta. How are you, darling? Yes, wasn't it a wonderful party? I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to visit more together. What's new with me? Well, nothing really. Except that I found out last night that I'm stony. That's an English expression meaning broke. What am I going to do? I'm going to open a restaurant. Isn't that exciting? With Petrie. He's the wonderful caterer who was here last night. Yes, isn't he marvelous? Oh, this is from Alfredo. I recognize his crest. Oh, good luck, my beloved. Alfredo. There's a check for $3,500.
You've raised a great deal of money in 4 days.
What touches me most is that of all the people I called, not one refused me. Now, I think we can afford this china. After all, if one is paying $2.25 for a cup of soup, it should be served in a $4 cup on a $3 saucer, right?
Hey, how about that, Cousin Stella?
How about what, darling?
You didn't get the message?
You didn't get the message?
The only message we're getting is that there is a message.
Oh, boy. Well, I left it on the hall table for you.
Well, is there some kind of good news?
Yes, I think you might call it that.
Phone message from Mr. Harry Bassett. Tell the Contessa that I found some money elsewhere and went down another 1,000 feet. And we have a real gusher.
Oh, that darling Harry Bassett.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it splendid?
I'm going to congratulate you, cousin, and then I'm going to just quietly slink away, and I want no one to ever mention investing in oil wells to me ever again. I am too old to cry.
Stop your nonsense. Go open some champagne.
Yes, ma'am.
And now, Agatha, darling, I want you to help me choose the crystal for Petrie's restaurant. I mean, you're still going ahead with it? Of course. But why? You don't need the money now. Well?
It's curiosity. Cousin Stella wants to see how many cups of soup she can sell at $2.25 a cup.
That's not curiosity, that's robbery.
Now, dear one, I have a black seal wallet for each one of you from London, and I want you to promise me never to buy a black seal wallet except in London.
I promise, Cousin Stella.
I promise, Cousin Stella.
Now, in each wallet is a $1,000 bill.
A what?
Cousin Stella, you shouldn't have.
Darling, I shall do as I like. I want you to put the $1,000 bill immediately into your savings account. But in each wallet is also a $10 bill, which I want you to spend immediately on wine, women, and songs.
Thank you, Cousin Stella.
Thank you, but I don't drink wine and I can't sing.
Why not spend it on women? Oh, you darling, Agatha. I have a rather elegant alligator bag that I had flown over from Paris. The French are the only ones who can work with alligators. And for you, dear cousin, I have an attaché case from Vienna. The Viennese know how to work with cars.
Cousin Stella, it's simply marvelous.
Now, I am going to take my leave, and I cannot stand farewells, so I beg you to stay in your places. Katie will see me to the door. Katie, my darling. There are times when I simply do not know what to say. You are now probably the only woman in the world who has a platinum swizzle stick. Goodbye, love.
Arrivederci, Contessa.